Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm Janitzi.
I'm Eve.
Y somos las
Las
huevonas.
huevonas.
Woo! So, are we gonna talk about what just happened?
We recorded a whole video.
An hour.
The audio didn't work. So we're doing it again.
We're doing it again.
And now I'm more angry.
We're gonna keep it cute and simple.
It's gonna be 2 minutes long.
We said everything that is going on in the United States of America.
Yeah. It is hard to not talk about it, right? I think it would be selfish and kind of irresponsible in a way to not talk about it, especially as Latinas in Los Angeles.
So basically, we were just talking about, everything that's going on and how unsafe we currently are
And feel.
I think this is, like Evelyn said in our last video, this is very close to home, physically,
emotionally and physically.
And we're not gonna pretend like it's not affecting us.
Right. I think what I also talked about originally was when we started this podcast, we had kind of decided to lay off any of the politics for the most part.
Because we didn't want to have, not that we have a huge platform, but we just didn't want to build a platform off of, I don't want to say a negative topic, but it can get very negative.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's definitely a very divisive topic. And we just wanted something lighthearted and funny. And so talking about this is not something that we originally planned, but after the last 4 days,
it's literally been like 3-4 days and so much shit has gone down.
So much shit has happened.
You know what? I didn't mention this in the other podcast. Or I'm sorry, in this, I'm all over the place. In this last video that we literally filmed just now and it didn't fucking record. Earlier I was because I usually get home like around 5:30 from work, and I came straight here from work. So I was calling her to just let her know that, like, I'm gonna come to your house, and she didn't answer. And then, my mom is here legally; she has her like residency, but it was just the fact that's like, okay, why didn't she answer? Like, it got to the point where now that my mom didn't answer the phone, I'm like, I'm scared. That wasn't a thought before, but now it's something that my brain is like, it can be a possibility.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier, it's not just people who are here like illegally, it's so everybody, even US citizens that are being picked up.
Because we start to see more and more videos of like, I was wrongfully picked up by ICE, I was wrongfully deported, I was wrongfully this, I was wrongfully that. And it's like, what do you mean? And then you start to see them, they're getting picked up, like they're literally being chased down with no due process, no warrant, no nothing. They don't know who they're looking for. They just see brown skin and it's like, sometimes it doesn't even look like they ask, do you have papers? It's just, well, you're brown, you're here, you're doing this type of job, so I just automatically assume, and you're coming down with me and we'll figure it out later. And it's scary because that's not how the checks and balances of this country should work.
Yeah.
We know people, we have family, that this is something that I guess we were always worried about in the back of our in the back of our head or in the back of our mind. But now they're not even gonna give you a chance to say, like, actually, like, I'm working on fixing my papers, I'm working on doing this, I've been a law-abiding. They're not giving you a chance. They're not giving you even a chance to notify your family when you've been taken. There's people that are saying, like, please, whenever you see somebody getting picked up by ICE, ask them their name, post it so their family knows that where they are.
Yeah.
It feels like it's becoming a situation where it's like in our history books,
like history repeats itself, type thing.
And this is a situation where I don't want it to end like the way our history books ended it, because those were concentration camps and those were not. And a lot of people can argue that the detention centers are like concentration camps because their families don't know where they are, they're being picked up, they're basically getting kidnapped and put in this place. Some of them are not being fed well, some of them don't have access to medical aid, and frankly, we don't know what's happening to them.
Yeah.
And we don't have access to them. I'm just saying, out of a U.S. citizen, as a U.S. citizen, seeing people get shipped to El Salvador into a prison where they should not be there.
Yeah.
Like, since when do we ship prisoners off to a different country? That's kind of crazy. Because sometimes even when somebody is not from here, we'll make sure that they serve their sentence here because we want to make sure that there's a due process.
Yeah.
So since when did we start sending people to a different country? And B, they're just normal people. So why are
Yeah.
they there?
I don't know. I just think I saw this thing where they were saying, like, in the beginning when they were talking shit about like Hispanics or like Mexicans and things like that, they were calling us like freeloaders and like lazy and criminals and all the other stuff. But it's like, where did you go look for them? Majority of them were working. Majority of them were, shopping or in the fields while they were working. People are trying to run. People are trying to hide. And I just think, have you seen those trucks? The ones that they're putting them in once they get deported, or like once they get picked up.
But I just know I've seen some where it's like a big white truck, and some of them where it's like just a van or what.
Dude, that van, like when they open the back, it's like a tunnel this big, and that person has to like be inside there. Like I saw this lady, it was one of the ladies that got picked up at her court appointment for her to try to get her residency. So they picked her up there at the court, and her husband was like hugging her, and it was like
Están mis hijas esperándolos en la casa. 6 niñas tengo que dependen de nosotros.
Ella es la mamá.
Sí.
¿Y por qué se la están llevando?
Porque
¿A qué vinieron?
tumbaron el caso, según. Es lo que están haciendo ahorita, por eso no venga nadie.
This really emotional video. And so when they opened the trunk, it was like a space like maybe like this big where she had to like fit. And they closed the door on her because there's a door inside of a door. So they closed that door and it's like all blacked out. It's like hidden, and she was having a panic attack. And she was like, open it. I can't breathe. Like I can't be in here. And they opened it and she kind of like stuck her head out so that she can breathe. And they kind of just like try to push her back in there, and they closed the door on her. And
Trátenlo bien, porque no son animales.
Air condition is on. Siéntese.
¡No puedo estar aquí!
No la toques así.
it's like those are the like they're putting them in these vans. Like these are so like inhumane. Like it's not even like let's go get in this car. It's like it's torture at this point. It's just
I mean, I have seen people just like get picked up, and it's like in the back of a truck, like just a regular truck, and they're just like sitting in the back. I do know that there's like there's a lot of different types of ICE agents out there. There's like the undercover ones that will just have like the regular trucks, and there's like the full on I'm fully suited up for no fucking reason because you're just picking up immigrants. So I don't know. I think it's scary. I posted a video where somebody was getting picked up like not even a mile away from me at a Costco, and I think that's when it's like it was literally just there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what would have stopped them from tackling me down?
Yeah.
Because in the video where they tackle the guy, there was no like, are you a U.S. citizen? There was nothing.
They're just like yeah.
And so I'm just like, and then we're starting to see videos of things and places being left alone, like completely empty, where there's like a shadow of there was people here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I was telling you earlier, there's a video of a guy who passes by a taco stand and it's completely empty. There's like everything is like
frozen
in
time. Yeah.
And it's just like on the side of the road, and he's just like, this is the second one I see. And you're just
Dude,
like,
oh my god.
what do you mean? Like everything is still there, like all the taco stuff, like clearly they were like about to make a taco, you know what I mean?
Sorry, the way you said
It's giving World War II. It's giving
it's giving dictator.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It's just there's I was telling you earlier también, it's kind of crazy how many parallels you'll see from kind of reading just old books of World War II, and even things as simple as like, rereading the Diary of Anne Frank. And I'm like, I really would like if we don't repeat history. That'd be great.
I know, and it sucks that it's like, at least me in my head, like you mentioned earlier, you wouldn't want it to end how our history ends, but that's the only ending that we know. Like,
Right.
if it's starting off the same exact way that it started off way back when, like, how do we know that it's not going to end the same? Or how do we know that it's going to be any different? You know, like, luckily, I'm speaking for us, but then again, it's like we don't know what can happen, you know, because they're literally taking everybody. It's like, luckily, I guess I can say we're fortunate enough to be US citizens because of what our parents put themselves through to get here. That doesn't mean that I'm going to turn the other cheek and be like,
Right.
well, like, it's not happening to me, so good luck to you,
I
you
think
know? And
people fail to remember that your privilege is pure luck. The privilege of being born on one side of a border, pure luck. Okay. Your parents could have decided, I'm gonna go live in Mexico this year, and then that's where they have you. Unless your privilege is like, I don't know, being a manager at some place, sure, maybe you worked hard for that. But being a citizen, having certain papers, that's luck. And especially being Hispanic, that is luck brought to us by our ancestors, right? So whether it's our parents, our grandparents, whoever it was that brought you here, you're the reason you have that good fortune. You don't think you have to worry. Although,
yeah,
si tienes el nopal enfrente, they're picking up everybody. Just
honestly.
um
And it's like, I would hate, and I'm not saying I'm going to do this, like, you know, but I would hate for us to end up having to pretend we're not what we are so that we
so
can be safe.
I wouldn't I wouldn't be able to pass, but maybe you.
Evelyn! No, but I'm being so serious. Like, I don't think, and this is funny because, like, I'm really curious how other people see me, but that might just sound like I'm super insecure. But I always ask, not always, but sometimes I'd be like, I'll ask my boyfriend, like, if you didn't know me, would you think I'm like Latina, or like, would you think I'm Asian? And then he'd be like, why are you asking me this? I'm like, because a lot of people think I'm Asian. Remember when we used to work at the bank? They'd be like, oh, I thought you were Asian. I'd get that all the time. And I'd be like, if you didn't know me, would you think I'm Mexican? Or like, do you think I'm like something else? And he's just like so over me because I really think,
He's like, go to sleep.
it's like 1 a.m. Would you love me if I was a worm? No. I'm saying because I really think, and it's because of where I work and how different they look from me. I would be like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to play off that I'm one of you. And I hope you guys know what kind of race I'm talking about. There's no way I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, you're probably
I don't know,
white.
dude. I
There-
I know for a fact that I wouldn't. Even when I was like platinum blonde, there was no fooling nobody.
but like, I'm talking, yeah, because I know some people that are like from Guadalajara. They had naturally have like super blonde hair and green eyes, and it's like they can play it off. And it's like, just imagine having to pretend you're a different race just so you can feel safe. Oh, just so you can go to the store. Like, I don't want it to, and we're probably already at this point where we got to be like, should I go to the store? Should I wait? Should I,
Well, it's
you
already
know?
gotten to the point where families are sending the kid with only that one kid that has papers.
I'm gonna get into it because I was in a super, super toxic relationship with somebody who was not Mexican, not Hispanic at all. And they would hate it when I would be in touch with my roots. Like, if I listened to certain music, or if I dressed a certain way, or if I would talk Spanish, or if I would watch Spanish shows, anything, it was like, remove that from your life. And so then I got to a point where I had to kind of like, okay, I guess I have to like leave certain things behind in order for my relationship to work. So when I got out of that relationship, I immediately got in touch with my roots all over again. So that's why I'm kind of like traumatized. Like I would literally hate it so much for me to be like, I have
I
to leave that
think
behind.
I think I can relate to that on some level. I think growing up in the United States, I had this kind of like, I think it was hard for me because I was really confused. Still am. No, but I was really confused as a child of like who I wanted to be like. And I grew up really admiring and watching like Disney Channel and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me also like in middle school growing up in the age of like YouTube, and like the most popular YouTubers were these British white people, and I used
Yes.
to love them. And my whole like personality was starting, that's when my whole personality was forming.
Yeah.
So I was grabbing a little bit of this, a little bit of
But
that.
yeah.
It was nothing to do with me. I mean obviously like I became who I am. That is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I also like went to these like very like black and brown schools,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was obviously like picked on a lot and stuff. And so it was weird to me because I was like trying so hard to navigate like how do I be Mexican and American.
Yeah.
It was so difficult for me. I think for me, I'm happy with who I am now and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but it did take a lot of, let me learn about my culture. Let
It took
me,
a lot of digging
yeah,
for you to be able
or
to.
not even let me learn, because there's a lot of stuff that I already knew. It was already in me. It was like my parents are my parents, you
Like
know?
it's nature. Like it was
Yeah.
secondhand
Yeah,
nature.
I just had to let it be,
Yeah.
basically.
I get that.
And having to, I don't even like turn that off for work purposes
Yeah.
is weird.
Honestly.
So I cannot, going back to your original question, I cannot imagine.
That's what I'm saying. I can't imagine doing that.
It would never work for me. But I cannot imagine having to do that. And also in the last video I talked about like I don't understand the ICE officers that are Hispanic and
Oh yeah, you did.
have to go to work, and they're like, well, I have to go pick up more immigrants today, and it's like I I don't know what they're feeling. I don't know if they're like going home and they're like distraught, like I just destroyed another family, or these people didn't do anything to deserve this. Like I thought I was just gonna pick up criminals or whatever the case may be, or if they're like, no, I'm a U.S. citizen. You should have came here illegally. Like,
Or do you think picking up off of that? Do you think? And I'm sure there's an ICE officer out there who's Hispanic and their parents are not citizens here. Do you think that they're worried for them, or do you think like, hey, you better not touch these people?
well, speaking from not experience, but like I know of a couple of Hispanics that applied to be ICE agents before all of this went down. Didn't have papers, so I was just like, what is causing this? And one was like, it's a really good opportunity. I don't have money, and this is what I'm qualified to do. And I can support my family better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was hoping that it was gonna be like
Their parents can get their residency a lot easier
yeah,
because
yeah. So I do know those two people never actually did it,
okay.
but I do know that those are thoughts that they're having, right? Um, I just don't know how the raids going on in LA or in California right now, how those agents can kind of live with themselves.
Yeah.
Because I think day one of ICE raids, I would have quit.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you know what?
Honestly.
I'll find another job. I'm so sorry. I cannot do this. Um, I know that that is super frowned upon. That's super like, um, because I don't know if I'm pretty sure ICE agents are just officers and they're not like a military force.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know when people are in the military, you can't just like, I'm quitting. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. So I know that's slightly different. But I'm pretty sure ICE agents are just officers of the law and not like a military force, so I'm pretty sure
where
you could
you
just
where you
quit. Um, and I saw this one video of they were like on a field, they were picking up some people, and someone started recording the ICE agents, and she was just like, "You're literally Hispanic. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, do you know that you're tearing people apart? Do you know that you're tearing families apart?" And he was like, "Yes, I know, I get it, whatever." And I'm just like,
Okay, so a question. What went through the agent's head to not also take the person recording?
well, that's so I don't know, but in the video he does ask her like, what's your status? Like, are you a U.S. citizen? And she was like, "Are you seriously asking me that right now? I don't have to answer that." And he's like, "Okay, whatever." And then he just turns around.
Can't they just do that everywhere?
That's literally like, honestly, to me, it sounds like it's all up to that particular ICE agent. Like, that ICE agent is either a dick or not. Do you know
Or
what I mean?
like, you pissed me off, now I'm gonna do what I gotta do just to complicate your life?
Like, I don't know what it is.
Like out of pettiness? or
I don't know if I mentioned it in this video or the last video that we recorded, but I do know like the commanding ICE guy,
Mhm.
whatever the fuck his
Like the head.
the head ICE. um but I do know that he had put out a statement, or not a statement, but like there was something put out where he was just like, "I want them to start picking up 3,000 immigrants a day, like per officer or per county, something like that." Um, I think it was per officer. Like, every officer has to pick up like 100 to 3,000.
What is this, sales? Like, what?
I don't know. And so
Ew.
and so he's like, I don't know, do what you got to do. He's like, and then he was just like, "I don't know why you guys aren't at Home Depot parking lots." And sure enough, now they're at Home Depot parking lots. But what I'm saying is like,
Mm-mm.
it could have been like, I don't know if there's like certain ICE agents that are like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take anybody and everybody that looks brown. I don't care." And then there's certain ICE agents actually trying to do it the right way. So it's like, I don't know. But from the looks of it, they don't care, and they're just picking up anybody. And I think you had a really good point in the original video where you're talking about how it just feels like racism.
Like I was telling Evelyn, I'm obviously wanting to keep up to date with everything that's going on. We have to share a mic, by the way. My fucking mic died. With everything that's going on, I read about it and I try to keep up with it and educate myself in it. I don't know too much about politics. I don't like to get into it with other people because I know how, I guess, aggravating that can get at some point. But I feel like at this point it's not even political. It's just, okay, you look brown, you look like an immigrant, or this point is not even about politics. It's not even about doing it the right way or anything like that, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, they should have done it the right way the first time and they wouldn't be in the situation." But then again, people are now trying to do it the right way, and it's like they're being detained at the courts, in their homes, at the stores while they're shopping. So I really think it's not even about politics at this point. I just really think it's about racism. And
I do think you did mention like you're not really involved in politics. For me, it was always something that I was like passionate about, and more of not like politics, but more of like the social justice aspect of it. It's always something that I wanted to kind of be a part of and make sure that I was on the right side of history. I think reading a lot of books, reading a lot of history books, it kind of makes you put into perspective like, I do not ever want to be on the wrong side of history. And that kind of put like a social justice flame in me. I do think that during this time, I have wanted to kind of calm it down, because this administration has been so fragile in the way that and anytime anyone speaks wrongly about it, somebody is getting hurt because they're talking wrongly, or they're talking whether it's college students protesting against Israel, and then suddenly they're getting their visas revoked or kidnapped in the middle of the street, like that one girl. Did you see that? One of the there was a girl, I believe it was Colombia, I think, that like she like co-authored. She didn't even like really truly protest, but she co-authored something in like the student newspaper or something like that, or like a journal, talking about like it was like very pro-Palestine, um, and she was an international student. She was here on a visa, and there's literal security footage of her outside like a store getting literally kidnapped, is what it looks like. These people in masks, they have nothing that say ICE, um, and she gets taken to a detention center. It takes a while for her to get back out. But this happened a few months ago, and it was like a big thing because it's like literally the video looks so insane. Like literally, like she looks like she's being kidnapped, and then somebody on the street is just like, "Are you guys officers?" And they're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You guys don't look like it. You look like you're kidnapping her." Ha ha ha. And it's like so like, what the fuck am I watching? You know? Um. So there's that, right? There's whether you're talking about the administration or something political in that sense, or the administration in another sense, um somebody is always getting kind of offended or like attacked for what they're saying. um so I've tried my hardest to not put anything out there that would harm or risk or endanger my own family or myself, um because it's unnecessary harm. But this feels very necessary to talk about because it's large communities at risk, and it's literally right here at like at our doorstep. Basically, it's so scary.
I think so too. And I think that's one of the main reasons. And again, it's not that I never cared for it, or it's not that didn't get into it or whatever. I just think it's fear of saying the wrong thing, or it's fear of just, like you said, putting myself like as a target, or my family as a target. Like I don't want to say I'm not privileged, but I'm only privileged to a certain extent. Because at the end of the day, it's like I come from immigrant parents. I grew up in a really low income household, or I grew up in different circumstances that other children have had. And it's like, I'm just like, even in public, like, I don't know how people, I guess they're just not as fearful as I am. Or like when they try to go up to somebody and like defend somebody else, or like, not that I'm saying that I wouldn't ever defend somebody else, but I would probably be too scared because again, I don't want to make myself a target. I don't want somebody to come after me. Or the best I'll do is probably like, you know what, I'm calling 911. This is going on here. Can you come check this out? And that's probably the best that I can do because I'm scared. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense, or I don't know if that comes off as bitchy or something. I don't know.
No, you're making sense. I just think it's funny because I have such a like fuck my life mentality. Nah, I'm like, fuck it, yeah. You're getting into a fight with this girl. Let me go defend her. It's like 10 feet tall, and I'm like, nah, I got this.
No, you know what though? Don't get me wrong. If I ever see somebody fucking with a señora or like a señor, like viejito vibes, no, that's when I'm up there. Like, because obviously they cannot defend themselves. They obviously cannot run, or like, no. If grandma's over there getting bullied, a bitch is stepping up. Because if I'm talking more like if it's somebody within my age range.
Yeah, no.
Or
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I have no sense of protection for my own life.
I think when it comes to me, and I'm really sorry if this comes off as selfish, but if somebody's trying to attack me or somebody's doing something to me, of course, I'm most likely going to step up. Like, I'm going to defend myself. But if it's an altercation with like two individuals and they're like doing their own thing, again, I just think I'm really scared of being shot. Like, I'm really scared of being stabbed. And again, I'm not privileged.
That's the North Long Beach in that's the Long Beach in her saying, I don't want to get shot today. Maybe tomorrow. I have such a I don't think that's selfish, by the way. I wanted to say that. That's not selfish. You have a very good self-preservation. So if somebody comes to attack you, you know how to make sure you're good. If you see something that's out of your control, you also know there's not much I can do. where I have the opposite, and suddenly I think I'm a hero. Suddenly I'm like, no, I got this. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on.
No, because if you know me in person, look at my wrist. That's a child's wrist. That's a child's wrist. I am like 5 feet on a good day and 100 pounds on a good day. They're ragdolling my ass. They're ragdolling my ass out of the fucking corner. Like, I don't know. I've just seen too much. I'm really scared. I'm really scared when it comes to like other people fighting. Again, I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get stabbed. I can probably say I hate my life, but I'm still trying to live. You know what I mean?
I don't know what it is, but I just feel like nothing's gonna happen to me.
She's made of steel.
I'm just like, if something happens, like I'll be fine. It'll be a funny story. Like nothing bad's gonna happen.
What if then I can't laugh about it? And I'm like sitting here by myself, like someone's at the hospital.
That would be funny. No. Point is, you do not have to be fucking like right there in the front lines to care and to want to do something about it, right? I'm grateful for the people on the front lines. Get me wrong, because there are people that cannot be there, that cannot defend themselves, that cannot, So I'm very thankful for all the protesters and all the people that are there and making a difference. And I would want to be there too, but there is that little ounce of not even self-preservation. It's preserving the family or the people around me and making sure that I don't bring harm to anyone around me. I think there's good in the people that are making their voices known online. So reposting certain videos, like I feel like that's good. Even if you're not on the front line protesting or in a city hall or on a state senate floor, like whatever you can do, whatever little movement you can do is more than nothing, because the last thing you want is for everybody to become so numb or to make it feel normalized or to forget or to not want to post about it because they think it's political, but it's not. It's a human rights violation. It's empathy and morality. So even like reposting videos, trying to get help out there, making sure people know what to say if they're in front of an ICE agent, making sure people are aware, like in this county there's ICE raids or whatever it is better than not doing anything or staying silent.
I think so too. Even the smallest repost, or even, I saw this thing where I'll try to look for it, but you can text a number and it'll text you where like ICE is located, so you can stay away from that. And it's like just making people aware. I think so. Um, and I agree with you. Like, I'm really grateful for everybody who's out there. And I'm rooting for everybody, and I'm right there with you guys, but I have a fear of actually being there, and I just don't want to attract any attention to myself. I have a fear of somebody actually following me.
You know
And-
what? A lot has happened to you.
I have a fear of getting shot, getting stabbed, being followed. No, honestly, I feel like I'm so scared of being followed and people thinking like it's okay to just do things to my family. I think so. So I think we were supposed to only talk about this for a little bit too, and we kind of like got into it, which is great. It's fine. I just really think that a lot of people need to be, again, it's nothing political. It's about being racist, and a repost, a share, letting people know honestly goes a long way too.
Yeah. If you have the capability to go to a protest or to go to a city hall meeting or to go to or mailing your senates, whatever, governors, if you have any kind of ability to do that, to be on the front line, to be at a protest, to do anything, then I commend you and I'm thankful for that. If you do not have the ability to be on the front lines, there are also things that you can do behind the scenes. There are places that you can donate to. People that are protesting still need water, still need N95 masks for the gases and stuff like that. So there are different things that you can do. There are places to donate for legal aid as well. And I will try to link as much as I can. But yeah, I think even a simple repost is good just so that the noise doesn't die down. We're sorry if this video was a little, I guess, heavy. We tried to have a little joke in the middle.
Yeah. I think so too.
But it's just hard times, and we just want to make sure that this can resonate to anybody, that we do our best to do that.
Yeah, so I think we pretty much talked about everything that's going on. Is there anything else you want to say? I think we're good. Next week's video, not to like dismiss anything, but next week's video will be a lot more
Yeah.
positive.
Unless something tragic happens. Let's hope not.
I know. Pray for LA. Pray for the United States. Pray for me. Pray for her. I think that's it for today's video.
If you do go to the protests, please be safe. Please try your best to be peaceful. I know anger can get the best of people, and your anger is valid, but do your best. Be peaceful, be safe, help the people around you.
Yes, ma'am. But thank you guys for watching this week's episode, and we'll hopefully see you. This died. We'll see you on our next one.
Bye.